This is Twitch streamer E-Grace Gamer, the Macho Man from Shadowlands, and you are listening to the Escape Pod cast. This episode was recorded in front of a live Twitch audience. Ralph the dog, what's the state of the game right now?
Galactic Legends. You can't live with them, you can't live without them. There's something irresistible-ish about them. We grin and bear it 'cause the wars are long. I hope that something better comes along.
Take it away, boys.
One is a Grand Arena specialist from the UK. The other is a territory battle tactician from the US. Together, there are no signs of intelligent life on board. With both having played this game since launch, the one thing we are sure of is that you will be entertained. The Escape Pod Cast, a service of the Escape Pod Castaways. A weekly podcast about the mobile game Star Wars Galaxy of Heroes. Live from the network studios of Yavin 4, here are your hosts, Neil Andrew Eyre and Paul Anthony.
Coming up on this week's edition of the Escape Pod Cast.
Galactic Challenges finally hit the holotables.
What are Neil and I's thoughts?
Yeah, we'll get into that in our first segment.
There were a lot of bug fixes as well in this last update.
Including the long-standing 5 sacrifice.
What does it take to get first place in Division 1 Kyber?
We sat down with Bus 74 this week in a special long-form interview.
We'll give you a short snippet of it in our second segment.
Spartan EZ sits down with us this week on our incoming transmission.
What does the former SWGOH Game Changer think about the game today? Stay tuned and find that out.
And in the bridge, we answer the always entertaining Patreon's Choice questions.
And we make sure to thank as many people as we can that have gotten us to where we are today, as we are celebrating becoming part of the YouTube Partner Program and reaching over 500 followers on Twitch, Neil.
All this and breaking news as and if it happens.
Right here on the Escape Pod Cast.
The Escape Pod Cast News.
Hello there, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome to the Escape Pod Cast. Yes, I'm your host, the Nev, or Neil Andrew Eyre, whichever you prefer, but you know I prefer them. Because I can get away, the Nev can get away with stuff Neil Andrew Eyre can't get away with. As always, I'm joined by my hetero life partner, Paul Anthony. Paul, how are you doing today?
I'm doing all right. It's a fun week. We got ourselves some new content. We've got a lot of feedback from the community. I'll be reading some of that in a moment. But the most fun thing of all was the fact that I can now announce that the Escape Pod Cast is officially a YouTube partner.
Yay, we made it.
Yes, we got we got permission to monetize the archive that sits on YouTube. We've started doing a lot of specials on YouTube.
Mm-hmm.
And we're doing a lot of fun things. We've also cracked over 100 followers right here on Twitch. So thank you to everybody that is making this possible. Very
Thanks
much
for the
from the bottom
appreciation.
of our hearts.
Yeah. Following and subbing and all of that. It's nice to see the gratitude, and your gratitude is appreciated. So, all those follows, all those likes, all those subs. Yeah, we love them.
We also have a very special thank you to Arnold T101.
Yeah.
Thank you for the shout out to Arnold T101 on his Twitter feed regarding GA Center, which I congratulate you, Neil. Congratulations on that.
Don't thank me. Thank the Epiphany toilets. All roads lead back to my Epiphany toilet. Without it, I would not have had said Epiphany that gave me the idea to do the show in the first place. So, yeah. But I suppose with infinite regression, We could say, you know, thank you to the food that I ate that required me to go to said epiphany toilet.
Oh, God.
Or we could infinitely regress back further and go to the people that produced said food, that grow said food, that, you know, that make the seeds
Steve
for
the
said
farmer,
food.
Steve the farmer in Middle Illinois. Thank you very much for GA Center.
Yeah, thank you for GA Center. You see, the beauty is with infinite regression, you can go back. You can just keep going back and back and back. You can't just stop at one point and say, this is the reason why. You know, just because you choose that, you can keep going back and back and back. So, you know, let's go back to Mother Nature. Thank you, Mother Nature, for, you know, giving us the seeds that grew the food to the farmer that then produced it, that then gave it to the store, that I then bought it, that I then ate it, that made me sit on the epiphany toilet and come up with GA Center.
JJ Manor says, own the throne.
Own the throne, yes. My
All
porcelain throne.
So we're very excited, and we thank you all. Thank every single one of you listening on the podcast, who are watching on YouTube, who are watching it live on Twitch right now. Thank you for making this possible. We are very grateful to call you our friends.
Yes, we are.
So let's go ahead. Let's get into all the fun that was this week. Where do you want to start, Neil?
Well, let's just start with the Galactic Challenges.
Let's start with the Galactic Challenges. I played them on Wednesday. You played them Wednesday night and Thursday morning. Why don't you open?
I felt... Well, I didn't know what I felt initially. I mean, disappointed. Yes, very disappointed. But that's my own fault because I created, you know, I went with the hype and I'd given myself such high expectations that this was going to be a, you know, mind-blowingly new, a new feature to the game that I guess, you know, it was my own fault for having such high expectations. I didn't quite know what I felt initially until I saw something on Twitter later on that day, and then I remembered. And the feeling that I had was exactly the same as finishing watching episode 8 and finishing watching Indiana Jones 4. That was it. It was that feeling. It was all this hype, and going along with the hype and having such high expectations and then being like deflated almost. So yeah, I mean, granted, when I got that feeling, I'd only played Galactic Challenges on one of my accounts, and that was my lowest GP alt account. But the weird thing is, my lowest GP alt account also has one of my highest relic squads on it. And it was put them in auto, put them in auto, put them in auto, put them in auto, put them in. Don't get to hit auto because they all got completely and utterly destroyed at tier 5 before they even took a go. So, yeah. I wasn't... There was nothing... It just did... You know, I did use Sith for tier 1 and tier 2. But... It just didn't feel... There just wasn't that... Oh, I'm so excited to do this. So... But for me, it was disappointing. And then... I didn't have... You know, with my expectations completely and utterly blown out of the water. Last night, I did the... event. I did the Galactic Challenges event on my other 3 accounts in ascending order. So I went from, you know, my 2.8 mil GP account to my 3.8 mil GP account to my 4.3 mil. And it was the exact same thing on every single one of those accounts. I could get to 3 stars all the way up to tier 4. And the second I entered tier 5, everything just gets destroyed by the preload. Now, I wasn't angry, I wasn't frustrated, because the rewards were so poor, so it's like, whatever. Am I going to spend the resources necessary to build up a squad to do tier 5? No, absolutely not. I have no doubt that maybe 6 or 12 months down the line, I'll have a squad capable of doing life, but I ain't going to pump resources into it for the rewards that they're giving me. So it was kind of like I didn't do it, so whatever. I'll keep my eye open 5 days from now for Death Star and what is it, Empire Bounty Hunters. But to be 100% honest with you, I'm 100% expecting the exact same thing of the 7 worlds. Every single world. That's what I think is going to happen. I think it's going to be an absolute breeze and easily doable on auto, tiers 1 through to 4. And as soon as I hit 5, my squad's going to get destroyed, and I'm just going to think, well, I'm not really that fussed because the rewards weren't that good anyway.
Let's talk about what Dr. Zeppers just said in the Twitch chat. And he says that it felt like an assault battle.
It does feel. I said, I think I tweeted about it. To me, it feels like assault battles, not assault battles 2.0, but assault battles 2. WTF, because it's not assault battles.
It's not.
But it feels like assault battles with a dash of GAC feats, a smidgen of TB/territory war variables, and daily challenge rewards. The one thing of note were the only thing of note of interest that is different from anything else in the game are the modifiers. Everything else has been done everywhere else.
Let me jump in here.
Yeah.
Because this is not assault battles. This is more like this is the difficulty is like, and we both agree on this. Light side Geonosis territory battle at the very end.
Yeah, well, at the beginning, for me, it's at the beginning, but that hitting tier 5 and just watching everything get wiped out by the preload instantly made me think light side GOTB. Instantly.
No, that's more dark side because you didn't have the ultra mods and the ultra units.
Well, yeah, but I was still able to I was still able to do some of the waves with my gear 12s and my gear 11s. Dark side GOTB, but I might only be able to do waves initially with dark side GOTB. I was only able to do like 1, 2, 3. I wasn't able to 4 out of 4 any of them, but I was able to reach 2s and 3s on the first 2 phases, and phases 3 and 4 I was always getting wiped out right at the start of the second wave, always. So I would get through wave 1 and then wave 2 would kick in and that would be it. I'd be gone. But it was still progression. I would still be able to do it a tiny little bit at a time.
Okay, so here's my thoughts on it. With the fact that we were built up on that Galactic Challenges will allow you to use your characters every day.
Yeah.
I'm done.
Yeah, I'm done.
I'm done with mine. I'm
done with the event. And I'm done with the event until the Death Star, until the next phase rolls around, the Death Star with the Empire and the Bounty Hunters. Yeah,
so that shouldn't they didn't come through on that. The difficulty, I'm slightly okay with it. I'm not wanting to be able to go in, push button, and blow everything up on auto every single time. Yeah, I did that in the lower tiers, and I'm going to get to that in a second. We're probably getting some sort of gear, or not gear increase, but a level increase of some type, or a relic increase of some type in the future, and that may be rolled into this as well for the tiers higher than, let's just say, starting at tier 6. That's my thought.
Mm-hmm.
But I do want to also read what a good friend of ours, Darth Rada, wrote. He gave me his 10 thoughts on this, the good, the bad, and the balanced. And he and I pretty much were on the exact same page. We have to remember, this is his number one, we have to remember that this is an exhibition, so have some faith that they will make better changes. Are you in agreement with that?
Half and half.
Half and half. The rewards are on the low side. If this is something for all players, especially newer or free-to-play players, especially at the low tiers, the gear rewards should be better. Stun cuffs, guns, crystals, etc. to help them build their roster and continue to aim to build towards completing more tiers. That's very true. Number 3.
Most of those rewards from tiers 1 to 4. Bearing in mind I'm an 85, and I have high relic characters and I have high level characters, and I'm 85, and I can only get past tier 4. The rewards from 1 to 4 are crap even for somebody at level 60.
That is very true.
Whoa! Run DMV kicking in with 1,000 bits.
Thank you, Run DMV, for the 1,000 bits.
We have our captain for the day.
The global modifiers need to be addressed. When you get to higher tiers, too many dots too fast. They're all Darth Rada said that all for dots, but not stacking like Jawa detonators. He agrees that 7 days is too long, although he's giving Capital Games credit for experimenting with the days. Thank you, Dr. Zeppers, for the subscription at tier 1.
It needs it. Right. Okay. So take the rewards. You gave the example of.
Okay. Well, I'm only through 4.
Oh, yeah. Right. Okay.
I'm only through 4 of the 10 here. And JJ Manners gifting a sub that does start a hype train on us.
Effing chew.
We're already at level 2. Thank you very much.
Effing chew.
Number 5, and this is the big one, and we'll address anything after I say my piece. We'll address any donations and bits and subs and all that once I say my piece on this, because this was my big point. Relic level shouldn't be a feat to get the best rewards. Let us try in Theorycraft, if we can do it at a lower relic level, reward the players. I think that they should do it backwards. That you should get some feats early on for just smashing face. Absolutely just going in and smashing face with level, relic 7 characters beating level 1 characters. Here, you get this little piece of a feat, okay? But as it gets tougher, as you use lower level characters to beat tougher characters, that's when the rewards get better. So instead of saying use relic 5 characters or higher, it should be use relic 5 characters or lower to get past this tier, and not make the difficulty so tough. Keep the level of difficulty and then wrap it back around. Mm-hmm. What do you think about that, Neil?
The format of the game needs to be changed. These little tweaks. I mean, don't get me wrong. I think that is that's a brilliant list. It's a good list, and there are some excellent suggestions for tweaking it here and there.
Well, he has more. He has more that I want to get into.
I think the entire event needs to be fundamentally changed from the ground up. 100%. The whole thing needs to be changed.
But this is an exhibition. They're getting their feedback right now.
Yeah, but my suggestion involves changing this game mode 100% completely. The only thing I like is that you get 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. It's battles on 6 planets.
We haven't even gotten to that, though.
It's battles on 6 planets, and there are modifiers. Those are the only 2 things I like about this. Everything else needs to... blank piece of paper, back to the drawing board.
The other things on Darth Rada's list that I want to share that I pretty much agree, make the waves 2 instead of 1. If you beat 1 wave, you get something. You beat 2 waves, you get even more. Let them replay for further rewards. If it runs 2 days, let's say that the first day, once you run out of stuff, you then can redo it on the next day. The shards are nice for newer players, but make them 5 instead of 2. While we can go in with any team and win, maybe adjust the best reward to not tie it back to a specific feat. And overall, it looks nice and runs smoothly, but it's also a good mode with the layout and the overview and the tabs. Let's go really quick. JJ Manners gifting subs. Schnarman cheering 510 bits, and Plasma donating 100 bits. Schnarman giving out subs, JJ Manners with another sub. Thank you to every single one of you. We are currently through level 2. We're on to level 3 with 2 minutes and a few seconds left to go.
Okay. Do you want to hear what I'd prefer to see?
Sure. Now now that I've been able to, actually get my thoughts out instead of being derailed all the time.
It's all of them. I want to see all of them. We've got 7 tiers, right?
Yes.
So tier 1, Sith against Separatists. Tier 2, Sith against Separatists. Tier 3, Sith against Separatists. Tier 4, you get the picture. After the first tier, boring. It's the same faction against the same faction. You want to make it interesting. You want to make it.
We knew that.
No, you want to make it. Yeah, but now that I've played it, it bores me already. So how about making the planet the fixed thing? Tier 1, one faction against one faction. Tier 2, a different faction against a different faction for the feats. Tier 3, a different faction against a different faction for the feats. Tier 4, and so on and so forth. So every single tier requires a different faction to be a different faction in order to get the feats. Sure, just winning it, just to get the victory out of the way, you can still use anything you want in order to get the victory. But the feats, I'm making the feats dependent on the faction that you're using. The modifiers are fine. They're interesting. The modifiers need tweaking as well. But if this truly is to be an event where we get to use all of our characters, and they want us to use all of our characters every single day, then give it an event where we get to use all of our characters every single day.
So Schnarman says at least have different comps of each faction, just don't add one in. Yeah, I was expecting to see, in this tier I'd fight the Bugs, in this tier I'd fight Newt, in this tier I'd fight GG. I wasn't expecting to see the same darn thing over and over and over again. /Van Rhodes, thank you very much for the subscription. 30 seconds left in this hype train to get it to level 3. If you guys are deem it to be worthy.
Effing chew.
But nonetheless, guys, if I were to take what you said, Neil, and push it forward, what I would say is have different factions be, you have to beat this team with this faction, and then the next tier, it's the same team you're fighting, but you have to beat it with another faction to, as they said, use all of your roster. Not you can use all of your roster, but encourage you to use all your roster.
Yeah. You could keep it exactly the same and then change the feats so that it, do this one with this feat. To get this feat, you must use something from this faction. Get this feat, you must use this one character within this faction. That's fine. But it still doesn't make it any less frustrating to hit tier 5 and see everything get destroyed anyway.
Heinzie, thank you very much for the donation of a sub to Jack Daniels.
Oh, lovely. Oh, very, very aptly named, Heinzie. That is without a yes, that is a good sub to gift. Definitely, Jack Daniels.
Oh man! And by the way, since we have Heinze in here, guys, I really want to quickly mention, if you're not doing anything later tonight, please make sure you stop by Harpoons and Beer or the Gridsy Sessions. I remind me what the exact name of it is. I think it's Harpoons and Beer, because tonight is Heinze's
100th episode. What is it about us on round numbers? 100, 200. Just what is it? Why are we so obsessed with round numbers? They're so nice, you know?
Yes.
Nobody celebrates 99 or 101.
So congratulations, Heinze. We're very, very excited. Later tonight, please make sure that you stop by and see Heinze.
Yeah.
If you're listening to this on replay, go check out Heinze anytime.
Mm-hmm.
He's just as entertaining. But tonight, if you're watching it live or watching us live right now, please go support Heinze tonight.
Make him smash those beers. Make him smash those beers.
And Wolffell does say it might be his 100th episode, but it'll be his 400th preload.
400th preload.
Yes. Oh my gosh! So, I mean, we've let's hold and talk about the bugs, fixes, and all that. Maybe with Spartan, but we'll definitely cover it at the end, because we do have coming up in just a moment. We have a pre-recorded bit with the special that we had done just this past Wednesday with a GAC. What did you call him? A Mark Rober?
No, Mark Rober. I said he was the Swugger equivalent to Rich Froning.
Rich Froning.
Because he's going for his fourth #1 title, and Rich Froning did 4 Reebok World CrossFit Championships back to back.
All right, yeah, you explained that in the thing. So, guys, it's this is a really, really fun interview. Some like him, some hate him, but the accomplishment of getting first does not come just easily to him. He puts in a lot of work, and we asked him all about that. We're going to show you, we're going to give you an edited snippet of that interview coming up in just a moment. And then after story time with the llama coming up after that, we'll be talking with Spartan EZ. We'll see you guys in chat during this recorded bit, or we'll, we look forward to your comments in our Discord channel if you're listening to it on replay, right here on the Escape Pod Cast.
The Escape Pod Cast with Paul Anthony and Neil Andrew Ware.
This is Macias, and I assure your privacy and confidentiality when using my remodding services.
G'day legends, this is Heinze. Did you know Macias Modding Mayhem is the premier modding service for the game that we all love, Star Wars Galaxy of Heroes? With some of the most affordable rates in the industry, Macias will remod your roster from top to bottom with continuous consultation with where to go from there. Macias has a 100% satisfaction guarantee, and he has tons of additional services available as well, like a full cleanup of your mods, PvP plans, and lots more. Contact Macias today on Discord, all in lowercase guys, MIKAYAS 0127. That's MIKAYAS number 0127, or hit up maciasmods@gmail.com. I fully endorse Macias Modding Mayhem, and you will too. Macias Modding Mayhem, the official remodding service of the Escape Podcast and the Escape Podcastaways Network.
Hello friends, this is Thaddeus from Going Nerdy, and I approve this message, and am compensated for signups for this service.
The world's largest audiobook library is at your fingertips, and the Escape Pod Castaways wants you to try it for free. Head on over to escapepodcastaways.com and click the Going Nerdy offer button to claim a free audiobook and 2 Audible originals. Cancel anytime, and it's absolutely free to sign up. Check out Audible and support the Escape Pod Castaways, all for free. See Audible website for details. Restrictions may apply.
Did you know that if you signed up to become a Patreon, you could get tons of rewards? Force Ghost Scotty could do a roster review for you. Neil Andrew Air could share Grand Arena tactics. Or Paul could even help you get maximum stars in Geonosis Territory Battle. And you even get access into the after show. Sound good? Sign up to be a Patreon today. For as little as $2 a month, you could unlock a ton of potential content and also get closer to the hosts. Head to patreon.com/The Escape Pod to sign up.
Have you been interested in getting items 3D printed but haven't wanted to buy one of those expensive printers? Are you looking for a literally one-of-a-kind tech gift gadget? Evil Genius 3D Printing and Gadgets is your one-stop shop for both of those items. Nerd-owned and Escape Pod approved, put Lenny the Evil Genius to work for you. If you can dream it, he could possibly make it. Contact Lenny at evilgenius3dprinting@gmail.com for more information. That's evilgenius3dprinting@gmail.com. Get something unique in your hands.
Hey, I'm Andy Beads.
Hey, I'm Danish Wobble.
Hey, I'm Ando.
Hey, I'm Jake.
I'm Bringer Adept.
Jake Johnson TX.
I'm Ramby2307.
Spartan Z here.
I am Mr. Jacobachi.
Star Wars Galaxy of Yeti.
I'm Flair Gaming Embers.
I'm Lazy Turtle.
I'm Mudbum.
I mean, come on. They already know me. I'm the bloody co-host.
And we are part of
the GAC Chain Gang.
We're a group of streamers who
stream our Grand Arena on Twitch
and continue the chain
into the next streamer.
We have all types of accounts for you to enjoy, from the big whales to the
small accounts.
But we're all here to provide entertainment
and have a good time.
The Grand Arena Chain Gang is proud to be part
of the Escape Pod Castaways Content Creator Network. Stop by and see them, won't you?
The Escape Pod Cast.
Ladies and gentlemen, welcome into the second segment of the Escape Podcast. Now, what we're about to present to you is a highly edited, not for content, but just for length of the interview, of an interview that we had with Bus 74. Bus 74 is a GAC mastermind in the eyes of Neil and I, and we wanted to bring you his story and a little about how he does what he does. Now, this, you have to see the whole thing. So go to youtube.com/c/The Escape Podcast and check it out for yourself. Check out the whole entire interview. But for those who just want to get a little taste of exactly what we're trying to convey, we present to you this roughly 22-minute pared down, severely pared down interview. Stick around. And after that, we'll have story time with the llama and an incoming transmission with Spartan EZ right here on the Escape Pod Cast. Enjoy the interview. This individual was brought to us by a good friend by the name of Dolomite. As of this recording, he has taken the top spot in Division 1 Kyber. Not once, not twice, but 3 times in a row. He is reviled by some, but he's praised by others. This Pacific Coast GAC mastermind impressed Neil and I to no ends with the details of his preparation, which you're seeing right over there, right, Neil?
Yep, that's correct. It is slide streaming there.
Yeah.
Oh, you can't see my thumb. There.
And we'll get into those crazy little doodads that you're seeing over there in just a moment. But he prepares for each match, and his due diligence to making the perfect slim roster knows no bounds. Live via Zoom right now. This is the second time we've had to record this, but we'll talk about that later. From Seattle, Washington, presented to you uncut, except for the commercial break, we give to you Bus 74. Welcome, Bus. How are you?
Thank you, Paul. Doing great.
No, it's not Bus 74. It's Bus the Rich Froning 74.
Rich Froning? Who's Rich Froning?
We did oh my God, you've got a brain like a sieve sometimes. Rich Froning is the fittest man in the world. He was the CrossFit champion 4 times in a row. 4 times in a row. And nobody has done it since. Matt Fraser has come close. Matt Fraser has done 3 in a row. But whether he Whether he matches whether Matt Fraser matches Rich Froning this year, we don't know.
Okay, well, yes, we did discuss this, but remember, that was on the lost version of this.
Yes. But that doesn't give you an excuse to forget what I said.
Well, it sets me up for the joke that I made then.
But you've already told everybody that it's a second take.
Well, I know this, but they didn't get the joke the first time. I referred to him as the Joey Chestnut of GAC.
And he prefers mine than yours. Don't you, Bus?
Yeah, what Joey Chestnut? That was the hot dog eating champion.
That's the hot dog eating champion. Exactly.
Hot dog eating champion or 4 times fittest man on the earth?
Initially, I was drawn to the Rich Fleming analogy, but
he's drawn to the Rich Froning. But you've got to get that one.
Well, I should say I was kind of mulling that, and we are talking about a video game here, so I don't know, maybe hot dog eating video game, both pretty esoteric sports,
Yes, yeah, they are.
See, we initially weren't exactly sure when you started when we did the first recording of this, and then unfortunately lost it to a power outage. But you were able to find out June 1st of 2017 is when you started playing. You're not a day one player.
No, but I've been playing long enough that I forgot when it was and all that. But no, I'm not day one.
Yeah, I mean, you've only been playing for 3 years. I mean, so you to be number one where you are, obviously, if you were day one, I mean, your GP's what, 5 million?
Yeah, just a touch over 5.
See,
yeah.
if you had been a day one player, you could be, you could be 6.5, you could be 7. You might, if you were a day one player, you might have GLs by now. But obviously, because you've only started 3 years ago, your progression, farming, gearing, like everybody else, is obviously, a year and a half behind a lot of other people that played.
Absolutely. And, a big limit to my progression is that I'm free to play also.
What?
Oh, yeah.
I am free to play.
Wait. Okay, hold on. We have to do the validation because we do this anytime somebody claims to be free to play. Right, Neil?
Yes.
Bus, I'm looking you in the eyes or looking at the camera, pretending it's your eyes right down here. Have you ever spent even a gift card that you were given on this game? Does your free-to-play card have a little punch in it?
Nope. It's golden.
Teflon laminated, buddy. Oh, yeah.
I have not accepted any game advantages that someone else paid for, and I haven't paid for anything. I've paid $0 on SWGOH.
Good to hear, mate. Good to hear. Free to play all the way.
And honestly, I wouldn't want to accept something that gave me an unfair advantage, because to me that part of that challenge of not spending money is what has driven me to play this game. Mm-hmm. I think other people who are free to play, who started at the same time that I have, like ones who are really dedicated, who decided to go after a Galactic Legend, they have been able to do that. So. But that's a factor, that I'm free to play and then I'm not a day one player. But also it's, decision making, and sometimes as free to play, you have to skip a meta. That's that. You counter it with what you got, and then you kind of wait until the next one comes around, and then you can hoard some resources and jump after the next one. And so that's kind of, you were asking me. I think I heard a question if I was going to go after a Galactic Legend.
Yeah, are you going to be going after any of them?
So it depends. I'm undecided. My strategy would be to hoard until I'm ready to pull the trigger, and that way I'm not committed. And I know that usually commitment is a good thing, but in this roster development is a major part of it, and committing before you do is actually a bad thing, because you lose options. So having more options, having more flexibility is a good thing. So that's my approach.
And it doesn't hurt that you have literally collected every other previous meta, and we know that there are counters to Ray and to Slacker if you use a mixture of the previous metas. If you mix gas with what, and if you mix the characters up, you can still achieve high finishes within Squad Arena. You mixing up the previous metas, can't you?
Correct. Yeah, you can do that with counters. My roster's pretty strong on Sith Empire. I've managed to use like my Darth Revan, Bastilla Fallen, +2 basically to counter gas. I've used him to counter mirror matches before then. I guess that's obvious. I'm using him to counter Rey right now. I haven't. I'm still working on the Supreme Leader Kylo counter. I think I need to make a Gear 13 tank for that. But then I need to remod.
Kryptonite right now?
Well, right now I'm not climbing all the way to the top of Squad Arena daily because of that, and I have been. It's just too painful.
Have you always been this dead set serious? Did you research the game before you started, or have you come into being as serious as you played?
Boy, I think I read some app review. Someone was recommending the game, and I was just like, I'll try this. I like Star Wars, and I thought it was really cool. I didn't research it before I installed it, and I was kind of clueless in the early days.
To have your roster so slim, there has to be some major discipline going on.
Yes, I would say so. Yep. I'm pretty strategic on what upgrades I'll do.
So just a quick question. Obviously, you're 5 million GP, but we know that it's a very, very efficient roster. What factions don't you have? Instead of because whatever factions you do have are going to be, geared and modded. So what factions don't you have?
Just recently, I started developing the Resistance Brothers. So, I don't know if and they're not really developed yet how I want them. So, I do, but you were asking about faction. I do have a Resistance faction. My Rogue One's kind of weak.
Okay. Do you have Phoenix?
I should say I do have a Baze and Chirrut that are both pretty strong, but I don't want to develop my Rogue One any more than I have.
No worries. What about an Imperial Troopers faction? You got one of them?
Yeah, they're decent. They're useful.
Mm-hmm. Night Sisters?
For me. Yes.
Yeah. Okay, what other faction? Jawa? You got any teeny bomb?
I do. Yeah.
I'm trying to put fingers up here for factions you don't have.
Jawas are fun, man. I'm really glad
Where do you have those Jawas at?
I got Nebbit to G13.
Oh.
Love it. Love them.
So you've got a new teeny bomb that does not fail.
Oh no, they can fail.
Oh right, they do. Oh.
But they're fun. I for me it was like partly the theory crafting. Like, I don't think I've heard this anywhere on YouTube, but try running Watt with Nebbit and Scavenger. That's a good trio right there.
Is that for defense or for offense?
Defense. If you want to go after banners, you could use it versus, but there are definitely counters to it. But just for something that's kind of clever that. Actually, let me take a step back. So to counter Geos, right? Let's say you want to do it without actually having a 5-man Jawa team where like a lot of them are lost, and so you get like kind of a poor score in a territory war situation. Try if you can bring Watt. He can put that taunt tech on Nebbit. And whenever Nebbit takes damage, because the Scavenger's unique, the enemy who damaged him still gets the thermal. So with that sort of core trio, you can bolster that with like a Ewok Elder or maybe a Dengar to prevent stealth, from spy stealthing. You can put together a team that can counter Geos.
Brilliant. Okay, so we know what you've got. We know what you don't have. Sort of. You seem to have everything.
Stuff I don't have. I don't have Tusken, although I did develop shaman up to like gear 8 really early on before my guild could beat the heroic tank raid. There was some phase 2 team there, but I abandoned him. But I farmed all their stars, so like if I have a gear horde, I could take them up really quick if I wanted to, but I don't.
So you're a territory battle officer's best friend, it sounds like.
I try to help my guild for sure. It's fun. I have fun with it.
Okay. Make sure that I don't try to poach him later.
Okay.
Now, we learned a little bit that you're a programmer in your daytime job, right?
Yeah, early in my career, I was a software engineer.
Okay, so you kind of use program language in a way to dissect your GAC opponents week in and week out. Let's start with after sign up, 2 p.m. your time because you're Pacific. You open up the app.
What do you do?
What is the first thing you do once you see who your opponent is? Or are you looking at all of the opponents?
Yeah, so actually I have a different process for when the join period ends, and then also when the defense setting begins, which is paper-based.
Okay.
Do you use any other tools beforehand, as well as the paper?
Yes, I use Hotbot to look at the sort of some summary statistics of each of the 8 people who are in my pool. And I also use before Hotbot was around.
DSR bot.
Yes, that's right. Yeah, I use DSR bot. They have that GA command, and then they also have the profile command. It used to be called recruit, but that just basically the profile command I actually kind of prefer. It gives a lot of kind of overview statistics, like their mod quality, like the number of speed mods over 10, or this kind of thing. And it also tells me whoever's using it, like what fleet arena they're using, including the reinforcements. So that's useful.
Yeah.
SWGOH.gg, I think has that information now, but of course the person has to have the SWGOH.gg account. But that's also a tool that I use.
Do you have and this isn't to ask so we can expose your secrets to the world, but are there certain kryptonite characters? Like for me, if I see a Padme, I'm throwing something at the wall. If I see a Padme on defense, is there a certain kryptonite to you?
I'm set up where I can deal with anything that I come across. I mean, some things are harder, and I will need to prepare. I will need to adjust my strategy, more than my normal strategy would be to prepare for it. And Padme actually is, that's a tough one to handle.
So it's not just
no, and also actually, I think I lost one recently. It was this GAC. I lost a first battle attempt to a triumvirate trio. Someone set their triumvirate on defense, and it was a really strong triumvirate. It had relics in it, and I actually.
Is this breaking news? Are you not on track for one this?
Oh no, I just lost 20 banners from not having the first. So you
still have a
attempt.
shot at that first spot.
Yes, I believe. Yeah, I think so. I mean, we'll see at the end, but so far, the last 3v3, I also made mistakes. Like I won by a considerable. I think it was like 200 banner margin or something. Like it was a considerable margin.
All right, let's get into this stuff right here. He's got the papers, Neil.
Take us through the process. Take us through the process. What do you? Because I see a column of like 1 to 20 something.
Yeah.
What is that? Because obviously you're going from 1 to 20. So I'm assuming these are the first things that you write down. I'm assuming that this is a list of squads that you write down before you make your decision as to what's going to be offense and what's going to be defense.
This is what I do during defense setting. I will analyze my in preparation for defense setting. I'll do kind of a deep dive on my opponent's roster. So it's sort of on a faction basis. I'll go through, look at different factions, and I'll make notes about what I see. I number the notes starting at 1, and then usually it gets to about 20 or 22 or something like that. And so, for example, the first one is, I'll also note whatever feats are active for that round. So, you might see that on some of my, for example, this one. This is one. This was a fun battle. It was this GAC. It was against the fellow who ended at rank 6 last GAC. So that was fun for me. So I actually took 2 pages for him. I gave him a 2-pager instead of my usual 1. Sometimes I only do a half a page, but this was a 2-pager. So anyway, you can see on this example, I put the feat, that was active. So win GA battle with Krennic and Death Trooper in this case. So as I write each row on this left, this numbered list, I will think about my roster, holistically, and I'll think, okay, what in my roster, because of this row item, how might this influence me to either set something on defense in my roster or to save it for offense? So, for example, the feat, win GA battle with Krennic and Death Trooper, I put in the O column. So I have these other 2 columns that I make, O and D, offense and defense. Mm-hmm. So I listed Thrawn, Krennic, and Death Trooper in the O column, and I put a subscript by them, and it says feat. The considerations will sort of conflict with each other. Like, for example, you brought up Padme. So in this case, Padme appears both in the offense, in the offense column and the defense column. Okay. And so I do that on the same row. So, and you can see that I have Padme on the offense for reason 15, which is, this guy who I was matched with has a strong CLS Han Chewie. And so the reason why I want to save Padme for offense is to counter that potentially. So that's the consideration there. And all that. Yeah. Now the reason why they were on defense is subscript 20. So that's that the guy I matched with had a weak triumvirate. And so there's, one of the things I give thought to is how can I exploit deficiencies in my opponent's roster? So when I see someone with a weak triumvirate, in this case, he's missing the Zeta on his Tria, I can do stuff that, set some timeout squads that are going to be, you're going to really wish that you had that triumvirate to do the annihilate.
I'm going to admit your name has come up that this guy has gotten Kyber number 1 so many times, and it's because he just sandbags all these. This is proving otherwise.
Thanks, man. I think a lot of people don't understand what I do, and how would they? It's not like they're, they just see the result.
I think understand is the wrong word. I think people don't appreciate the time and the effort. Because we understand, I understand what you're doing and what you're writing down and how much you're writing down and how much analysis you're going into. I used to go into just as much with one of my alt accounts. Every single GAC, I would look at every single roster. I would look at SWGOH.gg. I would look at everything to get the win. I didn't write it down.
And you streamed it too, Neil.
Yeah,
you streamed these setups.
I used to stream my GAC my GAC preparation for my alt account. So I can, seeing what I'm seeing, I can appreciate exactly what you put into it as the reason why you get so much out of it. You know, if somebody just joins and then goes in blindly and they don't get 12-0 every single time, and then they get frustrated with themselves, I would be like, well, you need to do some analysis. You need to, look at your strengths and your weaknesses and your opponent's strengths and their weaknesses, and you need to do a little bit of analysis before deciding how you're going to approach your opponent. If you go in blind, expect to get beat. Don't expect to win. And you never go in blind. You go in with your eyes like really wide open.
And that was just the tip of the iceberg on that entire interview. The full 1 hour, 30-minute interview is available right now on the Escape Podcast's YouTube channel. So go check us out. Go check that out. More specials on the way. We're very, very grateful for Bus74 for him taking not just 1 but 2 nights to talk to us because of the power outage that we experienced in the middle of recording the first one. Now, with that being said, stick around. Coming up after this break, as I mentioned, Spartan EZ. But first, story time with the llama right here on the Escape Pod Cast.
The Escape Pod Cast with Paul Anthony and Neil Andrew Ware.
Hey there, Escape Padawans. Everyone's favorite llama here to remind you that the Escape Pod Cast is on social media. That's right, we're on Facebook, we're on Twitter. So give us a like, give us a follow, and stay up to date on all things in-game and in the Escape Pod. Our account links are down in the description or on our Discord server in the Show Links channel. See you on the net!
Are you a member of Team Paul or Team Neil? Maybe you prefer story time with the llama, or dabble in the buttery side of the force with Biscuit Weasel. Or maybe you like the Escape Pod talents from Down Under like Heinzie and Scotty. No matter who you support, you can get one of my designs from the Escape Podcast merch store. Just go to escapepodcastaways.com, click on the merch link, and it will take you to the TeePublic site where you can support me, Mrs. Anthony, also known as Critty K. Also be sure to check out the Mrs. Anthony Shirts channel on the Escape Podcast's Discord server weekly to vote for my latest shirts in the Design Derby on Woot. Links for both of these are down below. Thank you for supporting the Escape Pod Cast.
Heinzie from the ANZGC is officially a member of the Escape Pod Castaways. Make sure you go and search for Heinzie on YouTube today because he live streams a lot of his GAC content, and not only does he do that, he also does some pretty fun videos from time to time, including a behind the screen and also streaming Jedi Fallen Order. And from time to time, this idiot might drop by. Head on over and check out Heinzie today on YouTube, a part of the Escape Pod Castaways network.
The Escape Pod Cast for Kids. It's really cool.
Hello and welcome back, Escape Padawans, to Storytime with the Llama and the Escape Pod Cast for Kids. This week we are finishing out our Galactic Republic miniseries with the rest of the Galactic Republic faction. So there are 7 remaining characters that we have not covered yet. First one up is C-3PO. He's available in his Contact Protocol legendary event with 5 7-star Ewoks. Padme Amidala is available in her legendary event, Aggressive Negotiations, with 5 7-star Separatists. R2-D2 is available in the Daring Droid legendary event with 5 7-star Empire characters. CT-2224, or Cody, is available in the Guild Store. The Clone Sergeant is also available in the Guild Store and on Dark Side Hard Nodes 1B and 3E, as well as Light Side Hard Node 5E. Clone Wars Chewbacca is available on Cantina Node 1C, Dark Side Hard Node 2C, and Light Side Hard Node 3E. Last, but certainly not least, the most underrated character, Coruscant Underwater Police, or CUP. He's available in the Squad Arena store. Just like we did for the Jedi, I want to talk about which of these 7 characters are going to be useful for early game, and the ones that you want to work towards, and the ones that you kind of want to save until later. Now there's really 4 characters in this list that are going to be really useful to new and mid-game players. Well, and end-game players, but these are the ones that you want to focus and fight towards. First up is Padme. Her team is really great in Arena. You can also use her in Territory War, in Grand Arena, and she's key in Geonosis territory battles. C-3PO, again, great in an Arena team with Padme, or with some other characters like CLS and things like that. He's great in Territory Wars and GAC as well, and in Territory Battles. R2-D2, excellent in TWGAC again, Territory Battles. Now, C-3PO and R2-D2, what's really unique about those 2 characters is they have a lot of faction tags. You've heard me talk about them multiple times before. They have Resistance tags, they've got Rebel tags, they've got Galactic Republic tags, so you can use them in multiple teams and be super successful with them. Last but not least, I am going to recommend Cody. Now, some people are going to disagree with me because he's not the best clone, but I will say he is pretty useful in an all-clone team if you want to use a Rex lead and maybe want to use Ahsoka somewhere else, like in a Padme Amidala team. Speaking of Padme, let's go over her leadership. Her leadership ability, Unwavering Courage, grants all light side allies plus 50% max health, and while they have protection up, they resist all debuffs and can't be critically hit. At the start of their turn, Galactic Republic allies dispel protection up buffs and gain 1 stack of courage for each 5% protection up dispelled this way. Now, courage can't be copied, dispelled, or prevented. What is courage? Well, when a character damages a target enemy with any ability, for each 5 stacks of courage they have, they dispel 5 stacks and they deal bonus damage equal to 40% of the target's max health. It can be super useful if you have a really tanky character and one of your allies, your Galactic Republic allies, has a large amount of stacks of courage. You can target that tanky character and a lot of times you can get them out in 1 hit. It's super useful to help change the tide of a battle. Now, the best Galactic Republic characters to use with Padme are going to be Jedi Knight Anakin, Ahsoka Tano, General Kenobi, and C-3PO. You can mix and match some other characters like Grandmaster Yoda, or I've even used Cody a couple of times when I've been in a tight spot and didn't really have anybody else to put in. Now, this Padme team is a hard counter for Jango-led bounty hunters, Shakti clones, Ewoks, Kylo Ren Unmasked First Order, Imperial troopers, Jedi Knight Revan Jedi, Talzin-led Night Sisters, Old Republic, CLS Rebels, and Darth Revan Sith Empire without Malak. Now, she's a soft counter for Darth Revan Sith Empire with Malak, so you can use her either way. She's just a little bit better without Malak than she is with Malak. She's also a soft counter for General Grievous droids, Geonosians, Supreme Leader Kylo Ren First Order, you can use her there, and General Anakin Skywalker teams. She can be countered by Sith Triumvirate, General Grievous droids, and JTR Resistance. Now there are 3 factions left. I can't believe that there are only 3 factions left for me to cover in this series. I've had so much fun. Next week, we're going to be focusing on the Smuggler faction. That's all for me. Tune in next week for more story time with the Llama and the Escape Pod Cast for Kids.
This is Macias, and I assure your privacy and confidentiality when using my remodding services.
G'day legends, this is Heinzie. Did you know Macias Modding Mayhem is the premier modding service for the game that we all love, Star Wars Galaxy of Heroes? With some of the most affordable rates in the industry, Macias will remod your roster from top to bottom with continuous consultation with where to go from there. Macias has a 100% satisfaction guarantee, and he has tons of additional services available as well, like a full cleanup of your mods, PvP plans, and lots more. Contact Macias today on Discord, all in lowercase guys, MIKAYAS 0127. That's MIKAYAS number 0127, or hit up maciasmods@gmail.com. I fully endorse Macias Modding Mayhem, and you will too. Macias Modding Mayhem, the official remodding service of the Escape Podcast and the Escape Podcastaways network.
Hey guys, I'm Biscuit Weasel, and I host Biscuits and Star Wars on my Twitch channel at twitch.tv/BiscuitWeasel. That's Weasel with a Z. There we do a great series called GAC Hospital. I spend an entire week with one player for one-on-one GAC coaching. We triage your roster, talk mod and team recommendations, and defense and attack strategies. If you want to apply, I invite you to tag me on the Escape Pod cast server so we can connect. Remember, that's twitch.tv/BiscuitWeasel with a Z.
Receiving incoming transmission. Receiving incoming transmission. Receiving incoming transmission.
And welcome back, ladies and gentlemen. It's time for our incoming transmission. And before I hand over to Paul Anthony for the introductions, you can see it's Spartan. I've just got one question. Spartan, what is your profession?
I can't do it as good as they do, but there you go.
Paul, introduce our guest.
Well, ladies and gentlemen, this man has been a friend of the Escape Podcast for a very, very long time. He also was a former EA game changer for Star Wars Galaxy of Heroes. He is a variety streamer, like we do sometimes. We enjoy all things Star Wars, and he's honestly a very, very nice guy, and I look forward to raising this monster in his honor.
There you go.
You and your monsters.
It's not like
Tell the audience what you did with your last monster, Paul.
I killed my keyboard. Shut up. But ladies and gentlemen, it is my pleasure, my honor. This guy has been on our radar for a long time, and I am extremely grateful that we get to have him on the show. Ladies and gentlemen, Spartan Easy. Spartan, what is going on?
Thanks, guys. Yeah, it's a pleasure to be here. I've been watching the show for a long time, and I love it. And I do have to say, I'm loving Nev's haircut. I just kind of want to run my hands through it right now, mess it all up. Doing good. Loving the direction of the game, and just playing a lot of Star Wars. Anything I get my hands on, including Galaxies.
Yeah, you actually inspired me to go get the other MMO, or not MMO, the other real-time strategy game. You were playing it one day. I dropped in.
Yes.
I went and picked that one up. I apologize for my phone apparently being right next to me.
Star Wars Battlegrounds, great game.
Star Wars Battlegrounds, that's it.
From the 90s, when you could play it on the MSN Zone, I believe is what it was called, before the internet just started.
But nonetheless, I mean,
Hang on a minute, is it that?
Which one?
Star Wars Battlegrounds, right there. That's it. That's the one.
All right, so you have both of them, Neil. We just have to figure a way to be able to play it.
Yes.
Game Ranger still supports it.
Excellent. We will definitely check that out, and maybe we could get a dual stream going. But nonetheless, Spartan, let's start with you. Let's start with what type of account, for people that have no idea who you are, what type of account do you run? Are you free to play? Are you pay to play? Are you, where is your personal account? Because we'll get into your other account that you used to have here in a moment.
The main account is about 4.5-ish, 4.6 it might be now, and then I have an alt account that I stream with. That's about 3.5 in Division 3. So I have a Division 1 account and a Division 3 account for Grand Arena. But yeah, I started streaming the main account, when probably a couple months after the game came out. It's probably, I think it was in January, February. Because I think it came out around November, and then I started streaming it. I actually did a quick YouTube video for our guild, and then I started streaming it. So, back when it was just nothing, and then the game didn't have a lot in as far as content. So then after a while, I would I opened up an alt account and would stream that as well, just so we had a little bit more content for the stream. And then that one's doing okay too at about 3.5 million. So they're both a lot of fun, but the big one's the Division one.
So, but are you?
Oh yes, free to play or pay.
Yeah,
so,
yeah. Have you paid?
I have purchased Darth Revan and the light side Revan when it first came out. I've been known to back in the day buy some vaults. I hate to say it, but I've done it. Bought those a few times. But that's probably back, when I was in the Game Changer program. And since Darth Revan, it's just little sprinkles here and there, but nothing big. So I'm fairly free to play since Darth Revan.
All right, I'm gonna jump in real quick, Neil, because this is kind of what he alluded that I could ask him about, and I'm actually interested in this. For those that don't know what a Game Changer was, which the program was discontinued just over a year ago.
Yeah.
What was a Game Changer when it came to Star Wars Galaxy of Heroes?
Well, the main Game Changers started on YouTube, and they were getting a lot of inside access where we had test accounts. And about the time that I came on, there was only a couple of us on Twitch streaming. I was one, DB Official was one, and EA, the community manager, Nick, was looking for streamers. And at the time, some of those big names that we know, the Arnolds and the mobile gamers, they were just doing videos, but they wanted people who were giving live content every single day. So they were looking for them, and there weren't very many of us out there. And so that's how I ended up in the program, because there was a couple of us, and we were toting the bigger, views, and we had the streams that were continuous all week long. So that's how I ended up. And then you get in there, and first thing they do is they say, okay, here's your non-disclosure agreement, and you got to sign a big NDA with EA and Capital Games, and really it was EA. EA is the one who gives you the non-disclosure agreement, and so it's a big deal because EA is a publicly traded company, and this is a game that has an impact on their stocks. And so releasing information or giving anything out could have an impact. So it's a serious business. So so we had that, but we had a lot of really cool bells and whistles and a lot of different types of test accounts over the time that we had it, because some of them were all different. We probably had like 4 different versions, I would say, while I was a Game Changer, of the test accounts. Some were, we could go out there and find anyone's account that had a Star Wars account, and we could import that account into our Star Wars accounts. So if we wanted to just go ahead and grab whoever the biggest whale was, we could do that, or we could ask for certain things, and it would take a little bit while. So usually it was a nice to grab a big account and then let them know, hey, just so you know, we're using your template in the in ours, and then then they would give us, I think I had 30 million crystals. I had 30 million
right.
crystals.
But this was the ultimate way to do account sharing. I think we just lost Spartan.
He froze. Is he I don't know, he might be doing blue ice. Spartan, are you doing blue ice? Yeah, we lost Spartan.
Just lost Spartan.
But he's still in Zoom. That's so weird.
Oh, this happened as well during the original thing.
Well, yeah, but normally when somebody goes, they then drop out of Zoom as well, don't they?
Well, when we were recording the episode for the special, you had frozen for a little bit, and then
well, do you want to?
Yep, there he goes. He dropped. So let's return us back to the regular screen right now.
Hopefully he'll be back soon.
Yep, I'm gonna message him right now that that he could drop back in any time. You know what? This proves that we do this live.
Yes, it does prove that we do it live. Technical difficulty.
He was giving away it was EA that got him. He was giving away the secrets of the content creator program.
Ah, yes, that's what it is. Where's your tinfoil hat, you know? Because, you know what? No, because I was thinking, I was literally, somebody's, you know, going into my brain and sucking out what I'm thinking.
Go ahead and switch back.
There we go.
So welcome back.
Thank you. Don't know what that was, but
it was EA because you were talking about the content creator program and what it used to be.
Yeah, that's what we think. We think it was EA. EA were listening in on our, you know, they were tuning into my brain frequency because I was going to ask you something.
They did it right as I said that this was the ultimate way of account sharing when you could take anybody's account and copy it to your own.
Yeah, sorry about that. Yeah, so yeah, we had those aspects accounts where we'd have up to 30 million crystals. As usually when we didn't want to ask for things, they would just make sure your account had 30 million crystals. And then we had an account also that was offline kind of, so you could literally go into the stores and just purchase whatever you want and it wouldn't charge anything. It would just, you could buy vaults till you know you're blue in the face, or you could buy any packs and it would never go to a payment process. So and a lot of them were in the live world. You could literally type in the ally codes and and see them, or at least where they were at. So they were.
Do you ever look back at that old ally code and go, man, this was the day?
I tell you, they gave us advance notice. They gave us advance notice that they were going to, they gave us about a week. They said on Friday, your accounts are gone. And then they didn't say a single word to us. And this is when there was a lot going on in the community. And so I'm pretty sure, I mean, I know why, or I have suspicions why, but.
Do you want to get into those suspicions? Because if there's the possibility of Game Changers coming back, those who wish to apply need to know that if you don't act like that, then this will thrive. Otherwise, if you act like spoiled brats,
right,
it's going to go away. Am I off base there?
Well, yes and no. It's two ways. So one, I think when we lost our accounts, and I'm not going to throw anyone under the bus because I'm not going to say it's one specific thing, but there was some videos that were very personal attacks at individuals at CG. And if I was them, I probably would say, do we need these guys? And so I won't get into that, but there was some, it wasn't just attacking the game. It was attacking, individuals who work for CG. And that's just a little too personal. But here's the deal. I work for big corporations. I've worked for, different jobs. And the first thing they do is they give you a social, your social agreement, where if you go on the internet and you say bad things about their company, you can lose your job. So there really wasn't anything like that with them. We didn't have any gag orders other than if you release content that we've given you that isn't in the game yet, you can be liable. So they never had a leash on us, but I mean, you can be constructive in giving feedback, and you can be destructive giving feedback. And you've got to know the difference between the two, because if I'm an employer, I don't want my employees out there, and even though we didn't get paid, I don't want people out there bad mouthing. Why would I want them representing me? So you got to be constructive, and so it's a fine line to walk, because you want to be true to who you are, and if at one point you feel like you got to say more than you should, then you're going to walk that line, I guess. So. I'm always a positive guy, so I always try to look at the positive sides of things. So where other people go, this is horrible, and I'm going, it's not that bad. I'm just glad we got some new characters. I'm just glad we got a new mode. I'm just glad we got a new raid. I'm happy, because for me, more Star Wars is more Star Wars. So whether it's it's like the movies. People go, when they made those movies, they were horrible, but it's more Star Wars. We could have no Star Wars or more. You take your pick. And some people take none, but I'll take more every day.
Yeah.
Give me more Star Wars, no matter how bad it is, and I'll eat it up like cereal in the morning.
So I've got.
Go ahead, Neil. Sorry, I've been hogging Spartan.
What was your favorite perk? from being in the Game Changer program?
My favorite perk was knowing things before anyone else did. And I've got at the time my son was 14 and he was playing the game too. And he'd like knock on my little office. He's all, Dad, I'm like, nope, you can't come in, because I was playing with a character. So, if you've grown up with Star Wars, so I'm old. So I saw the first Star Wars at the drive-in theater, the original one, when I was really young, and been hooked on Star Wars ever since. So later in life, and having this huge love for video games, and then being, a small part of a Star Wars video game or anything Star Wars, I mean, I'm like a little kid. I'm like, oh my gosh, I got all the shinies. So the perks for me was just being in it and seeing the things that they were doing. And the gentleman Nick who ran the program at the time, who's just an awesome guy. He now works for Marvel Strike Force. He interviewed me. He interviewed me for the position, and I asked, and he asked me questions about what I felt, and I gave him my love for Star Wars, I gave him my love for the game, and then he said, well, what questions do you have for me? And I said, where do you see this game? What's the roadmap? What are you looking at? Because the game was only a couple years old by then. I'm thinking it's gonna eventually go away. He goes, he's a Spartan. He said, we've got like about 500 characters in development. We've got years and years of content if we want it. And that was cool to know that was that many. And I know there's been a lot of like characters that didn't make it to the game, but doesn't mean that they weren't in development, because there are some. And I did like when they were able to, I think they did a better job back in the day where they were able to get the content when it was lined with the movies or lined with a show or lined, like, I think we missed it when Mandalorian came out. Why didn't we have those characters?
Did you ever get to play with the character that never made it to the game?
No, because we weren't that far. We weren't far like into like a that sort of beta, because there were beta testers. So there were still beta testers, and then there was kind of game changers. So usually we got and you'd be surprised. I mean, it was a really cool thing to get a character or get a kit, play with it, and then have them say, okay, we went back to Lucas and they need this to be changed about the character, whether it be a color of a lightsaber, the way it looked. You cannot show any content that you recorded until we make these changes. Or sometimes they would let you do it, but you'd have to put this is, pre-beta or pre-launch or something on there.
Right.
But it was cool. It was cool. And sometimes it was a day. Sometimes it was a day. Like we'd get it on a Wednesday afternoon. It was going into the game the next day. So, yeah, it was a lot of fun. It was a good time. I think anyone who was in the program, despite how they left the program, if they really look back and think we really had a cool thing being in that game changer program.
I think so too.
Yeah.
Neil, what you got?
I was going to ask you, what was the character that you got to see before everybody else that got you the most excited? What was the one that you were like, oh my god, I so want to tell everybody about this. Why are you making me wait X amount of days?
Yeah, Django was one of them, but probably the first Revan that came out, Light Side Revan, that came out because it was entering, and I've played SWTOR, so I've played the MMO, I've played KOTOR, I've played all the game, I've played everything Star Wars, of course. But that was cool because it was kind of, it was just like it was in the MMO, and we were getting that character. But we played that character, which was really cool. And this is back when they listened to the Game Changers. We played that character and we went, this character's good, but he's not strong enough. He is not strong enough. You need some tweaks on this character before you put him out because he's not ready. He's under impressive. And sometimes they would just say, well, hold on. That's because there were other characters in the chain, but Revan had to be powerful. And he was not where he should have been when we first got him, and then they tweaked him up.
Was that collectively?
Yes, yeah,
from
everyone
the game
felt
changes. So you all collectively said,
yeah,
he's not good enough. Changes need to be made before you release him.
Yeah, and what the funny part too is before they always release these like synergies, and they're not always right on because they don't ask us, so they wouldn't ask us. And I remember playing Revan with the synergy we have now, and going, wow, this is pretty amazing. And then lo and behold, that's the light side Revan with the Bendu and Yoda and Kenobi and
Bastila.
Yeah, Bastila, which of
or
course
Hermit Yoda.
Yeah, well, I prefer the other Yoda, but I mean, Bastila, everyone, you put her in the leader spot with that Zeta, and she's fantastic. So it was really hard to kind of look at that and go, wow, wait a minute, we're taking this amazing character and taking out a leader spot, but she was amazing under a Revan. So yeah, so we got this. I was playing with that before it was even a thing, So, and there was a lot of good community where you could talk to the other game changers and say, hey, because we had some of the accounts, we had our own kind of shard between us. So yeah, it was good stuff. But so Revan the answer would be probably light side Revan, although I am the bigger fan of the dark side, the Empire, and the good guys. I consider the Empire I want all the toys. I want the ATTs. I want the ATSTs. I want the Stormtroopers. I want all of that. I'm a big fan of the Empire and the Sith.
So we promised to keep you only till the top of the hour, and we're running out of time quickly here.
No worries.
Tell us quickly your thoughts on Galactic Challenges.
Okay, well, when it came out, I mean, I'm not surprised it is what it is, because when I saw the data mine and I saw and then we saw kind of what they were saying, it looks like it's just an event, it doesn't look like an event. And I always have felt CG is stingy with rewards. So I'd always like to see the rewards kind of be ramped up. Right now, I'm just on the fence. I'm like, look, it's something different. It's more. It's not really what I want. I'm going to tell you what I think they should put in the game, and that would have been a big fix for people who want that sandbox mode. But it's too new to say. People didn't like Grand Arena when it first came out. They said the rewards weren't that great, and then over time, it's become beloved by everyone, and people enjoy it. And the rewards aren't that great. I mean, they're okay. But for me, I've always felt that Galactic War is the perfect opportunity for a sandbox mode, and it would be a real easy fix that instead of us simming it every day, just restart it and say, I'd like to start this at G12. I'd like to start this at Relic 1. I'd like to start this at Relic 4, whatever, and have the rewards ramp up. And then you would start that and you got to play all your teams through it. And I think that would have been a great sandbox mode where you would be able to do that every day, and you'd be able to try out different teams without being penalized. And it would be something really simple they could add to the game instead of just this mode that we just hit restart. Now, I hated doing Galactic War back in the days when you had to do it 150 times. But now I think I would say, well, can I sim it? Or can I go through it on a relic mode and try out all these different teams? I think that would be an interest in me, and it wouldn't take a lot of resources for them to do something like that. So that's my sandbox mode for them, because I can tell you they did say back in the day when I was in the Game Changer program, we're not going to do a sandbox mode because there's just no way to make money off of it. So why waste all the resources and the time and the programming? It's not a great way. They may have changed their mind since then, but it's like, okay, we can spend $100,000 or we can spend, whatever, $50,000 working on programming for this bigger game mode and have no return on investment. So
thank you, Savage Diva, for the 48 bits. Spartan, Neil, do you have a follow-up question? And then I'm going to have Spartan give out how to find him.
My follow-up to what he just said would take us in our other segment. So next time you're streaming, mate, and I'm free,
jump on
I'll hit you up and we can VC together.
Okay, awesome. We'd love it. Anytime. Yeah, you guys are always welcome. So yeah, you can find me on Twitch. I stream It's a little crazy now because I'm back at my job a little bit more. So, but you can find me streaming at Spartan Easy on Twitch, or you can catch me on Twitter at Spartan Easy as well. And I really
that's with
appreciate
an
it.
O.
It's with an O, yeah. So it's SPARTON and the EZ. So yeah, it's been awesome. Thanks, guys. Appreciate it. Thanks, chat.
All right, Spartan Easy, thank you very much. JJ Manners, thank you for the 48 bits. Guys, coming up after this month's episode of Helly and the Noob, we are going to get into Patreon's choice for the Q&A. Thank you for the 245 bits as well, Geek Girl.
Thank you very much, Geek Girl.
We are going to be answering those very, very tough life questions. And if we do have time before the bottom of the hour, we will get into the known bugs. That being said, stick around right here on the Escape Podcast.
The Escape Pod Cast with Paul Anthony and Neil Andrew Ware.
This is Macias, and I assure your privacy and confidentiality when using my remodding services.
G'day legends, this is Heinzie. Did you know Macias Modding Mayhem is the premier modding service for the game that we all love, Star Wars Galaxy of Heroes? With some of the most affordable rates in the industry, Macias will remod your roster from top to bottom with continuous consultation with where to go from there. Macias has a 100% satisfaction guarantee, and he has tons of additional services available as well, like a full cleanup of your mods, PvP plans, and lots more. Contact Macias today on Discord, all in lowercase guys, MIKAYAS 0127. That's MIKAYAS number 0127, or hit up maciasmods@gmail.com. I fully endorse Macias Modding Mayhem, and you will too. Macias Modding Mayhem, the official remodding service of the Escape Podcast and the Escape Podcastaways network.
Does your guild want to tap into their full potential in Star Wars Galaxy of Heroes? Yeah! For as low as $1 a month per guild member, your guild can unleash the power of the game in ways you never thought possible. Ooh. Track your arena movements, guild progression, and much more. Contact ShittyBill and get one of his shitty bots on your server today. Just look for him on our Discord server and tag or message him for more information. The link for our server is below in the description. Shitty bots, don't let the name fool you. Did you know that if you signed up to become a Patreon, you could get tons of rewards? Force Ghost Scotty could do a roster review for you. Neil Andrew Ware could share Grand Arena tactics. Or Paul could even help you get maximum stars in Geonosis Territory Battle. And you even get access into the after show. Sound good? Sign up to be a Patreon today. For as little as $2 a month, you could unlock a ton of potential content and also get closer to the hosts. Head to patreon.com/theescapepod to sign up.
And now time for something completely shameless.
Noob. Not fun. Noob. So annoying. Noobie!
Shh.
Yes.
Here it comes.
Hello, Lennox. I'm here. Wait.
Utini!
Oh my!
Jawa.
Haha! Gotcha, noob. No! Put those blasters away. This is my friend, DM Beanie. Be nice to my guest, noob. DM Beanie. Say hello to Noobie.
Hello! Beanie!
Greetings, hello, Lennox.
You jerk.
Everyone knows droids hate Jawas.
Hey, Noobie.
Yes, Lennox.
Are your circuits in a bunch? Or is it your
bikini?
Lennox, I don't understand how you can always be so dang
jovial.
All right, noob, I'll bite. What's wrong this time, noob?
My guildmates aren't taking this game
seriously.
Hang on, noob, hang on. Perhaps you need a drink. Maybe you'd like a martini.
You guys are just
The worst.
Oh, come on, noob. You gotta just let loose sometimes and have fun. I mean, it's what they do in
Sato PD.
That was epic.
This isn't
Funny.
Hellenics. Listening to you two make bad dad jokes just so you can rhyme with Utini is super.
No, annoying.
Just ask Jackson. He can't stand dad jokes.
Oh, newbie, even Jackson knows that when we do dad jokes for him on B-Weezy's Twitch streams, it's all in good fun, bud. As a matter of fact...
Oh, boy.
Here's a short PSA.
Here we go.
That can help you understand, bud.
PSA.
This PSA is brought to you by Hellenics. And the Escape Pod, Cast, YouTube channel, Twitch stream, and Discord server. SWGOH's most fun place to hang out for all SWGOH players. I mean, it is the home of everyone's favorite droid with a penchant for calamity. Taking Star Wars Galaxy of Heroes way too seriously. What is it? Why is it happening? And who stands to benefit? In this SWGOH PSA, we will explore taking SWGOH way too seriously and the many myths that surround it. Wait, that barely made any sense. Perhaps we should reword this bit? But no. What do you mean it's part of the PSA formula? Alright, man. Sheesh. RN Jesus help us. SWGOH is a game, and games by their very nature are supposed to be fun. According to Watto's Galactic Basic Dictionary, a game is an activity, form of play, pastime, or sport which follows a predetermined set of rules and is decided by luck, skill, or strength, and whose goal is to deliver enjoyment to both participants and spectators alike. While the competitive nature of certain games can cause stresses on its participants, the eventual accomplishments of the game's goals, continual participants' progressions, or even the very act of participating or spectating itself can be a truly fulfilling experience. Many players in the SWGOH gaming community can occasionally forget this fact, and sometimes folks just take this game way too seriously. This can be understandable. Let's not forget that some players have spent small fortunes in this game and don't want to see their money wasted. Others have devoted countless hours to this game and to its community and don't want to see their hard work eroded. Still others are hyper-competitive and can let their desire for victory overwhelm their rational thoughts. However, we must all remember why we started playing SWGOH in the first place. Fill in some time here. What do you mean, fill in some time? What do you mean 42? Oh, don't take it so seriously. Gotcha. Well played. So before you blow a gasket on anything related to this game, consider this. Can there be any other reason, besides having fun, that caused you to originally download this game in the first place? I'm certain that if you think about it for more than a few seconds, you will determine that, no, indeed, having fun is the very reason why you play SWGOH. This has been Hellenics. #shameless self-promotion. For the Hellenics SWGOH YouTube channel, and the Escape Podcast, and SWGOH, and good times, and fun, and the number 42. So, we've been doing these PSAs for a while now, and I just wanted to sit down with you and go over some of my channel metric. Where are you going? Hello? Hey. Typical.
So, do you see now, noob? Wasn't that PSA helpful?
That PSA didn't explain anything.
Once again.
Lennox?
Houdini?
I'm upset because my guildies are missing their
600s.
and our guild is a 30K
Or bust.
build, Lennox.
Wait. What?
Oh, you heard me.
Meatbag.
My guildies are not getting their 600s done. We have to chase them and beg and beg and tag them, and they
Still miss.
Oh, Houdini.
I thought that would get your
Attention.
Lennox.
You know what?
Hell?
No. 600s are the first thing you learn to do in SWGOH. Mooching ass join a guild to collect their guild rewards, but can't do their raid tickets? Nah, man. No. I'm gonna go in there and put these dudes on blast. This bull. Go join a casual guild if you don't like it, you dog.
Hey, Jawa, is he gone?
Indeedy.
Wanna grab a brew? I could use some 5W30 full synthetic.
Martini.
Sure, DMVini, my treat. Well, it'll be Helenix's treat. I have access to a space wallet. Time to make some galactic credits.
Disappear.
Like
Houdini.
The Escape Pod. Cast. The Bridge.
And welcome back to the show. It's our fourth and final segment, which means one thing and one thing only. It's Patreon's Choice, where you get to throw a bunch of
Patreon's
questions.
Choice in the bridge.
You get to throw a bunch of questions at us, and we have to answer. So, over to you, Paul, Question Master.
Well, first off, one question to you. This is from me to you, Neil. Who would you like to thank with all of the stuff that's happened this week? As I've mentioned, 500 followers on Twitch. We are accepted into the YouTube partner program now. Is there anybody that you would like to thank? I want to open the door for you.
Everybody. Everybody for following, everybody for watching, moderators for modding, production team for, chipping in and doing various different bits and pieces, the executive producer for executive producing, co-hosts for co-hosting. There are so many people that have their fingers in the Escape Pod Castaways that it's not right to single anybody out, because everybody does their little part. As you like to refer to us as a hippie commune, you like to refer to us as a hippie commune, which we're doing.
The Castaways are a hippie commune.
We are so doing that. My vote is Wyoming. Great tracts of land, open fields. We'll set up a great big satellite dish so that we get awesome internet broadband, and set some solar panels up, and we'll dig some earth domes, and totally set up a hippie commune.
Well, I have one person in particular that, if you would lend me the stage for a moment, there's one person that I definitely want to thank. Mr. Scotty McLaren. Thank you for believing that I could do this from the very, very beginning. Thank you for stepping in and saying, we are going to do this. Thank you for showing your kind heart in helping my wife through the rigors of diagnosis, of treatment, of surgery, Scotty, I owe you. And for what it's worth, I'm sorry that we had a falling out of sorts. As I've mentioned elsewhere, the door is open, my friend. I would love to spend time chatting like we used to. Scotty, thank you for believing that what we've accomplished could be accomplished and for pushing us to accomplish these things. Thank you for the time.
Reclaiming my time. Reclaiming my time. Shh, reclaiming my time. Reclaiming. I've done it enough now.
Yeah,
I'm not
you
a
have.
Democrat.
You have. This isn't the Senate.
Congress.
And that's not a dig on a fellow streamer. That's simply just that was a government joke.
Yeah. Come on, I'm an anarchist. I'm always going to take the piss out of the government. Doesn't matter which one it is either.
All right. Now, let's get into Patreon's choice. Zaz asks, and this one kind of hits home this week. If you could magically change one thing about your body, what would it be? It would be my teeth. You guys don't see my teeth as much. And there may be a time when I need Flair to step in for a week because I finally get them taken care of. There you go. That's mine.
Eyes, my eyes. You have no idea how blind I am without these things. I'd like to not have glasses because the glare on these things sometimes when you're streaming, you can see it. You can see it in the lenses. So yeah, if I could have if I could pick them as well, I would go for some Alec Baldwin blue eyes, or Frank Sinatra blue eyes, those piercing blue eyes that, look into people's souls and they just go, so yeah, definitely my eyes, because I'm as blind. I mean, I can sit here now. I know what I know what the Chiron says because I typed it. But if I didn't know what it said, now screen 2 foot away from me, I can't read anything out these. That is how blind I am. So yeah, eyes definitely.
Llama says that you should get you should get LASIK and I should get my my dental issue taken care of, and it'll be Flair and Llama on the show instead. Geek Girl asks, what is an underrated film or TV show that you think people should watch? For me, it would be a reality show called The Mole. It was great. 12 contestants. One of them is there to purposely screw up other people's things without being discovered.
Okay, for me, it would be a film, and it would be Earth Girls Are Easy.
What secret conspiracy would you like to start?
Ooh, secret conspiracy that I'd like to start.
I mean, it's 2020. Almost every weird conspiracy is coming true.
Yeah, they are. Yes, they are. I don't know. I prefer to criticize conspiracies as opposed to make them.
What I would say is that the Fallout series was made by time travelers here to warn us.
Okay, okay. My secret conspiracy would be that the Game Changer program never ended. It's still going, but they all had to sign new non-disclosure agreements that, if they broke, they would be tortured to death by EA, the most evil company in the world.
What is the most ridiculous fact that you know? That the Mortal Kombat Game Genie blood code was BDB4DD07 for the SNES. That's the weirdest fact I know.
That it is And it's one I learned recently, that it is illegal to be drunk in a bar in New Zealand. Illegal to be drunk in a bar. New Zealand.
Run DMV asks, if games cease to exist, what would you do? Asking for a friend. Fish.
Make a lot of pom-poms.
Read Flair, books. Flair came up with food questions. How do you like your steaks? Cooked, smothered, and toppings. Steaks, medium rare, smothered only in butter, toppings with a little bit of grilled onion.
For me, it's medium. But before it even touches a frying pan, you need to take some sea salt, some black pepper, get it sprinkled on, get it rubbed into both sides before throwing it into the frying pan. And it's got to be cooked right. It's got to be seared at the maximum temperature. It's got to be seared at the maximum temperature for 60 seconds on both sides, and then you bring it down to a medium heat.
Dr. Zeppers wants to know if you could be drunk outside of a bar in New Zealand. Favorite appetizer to get from Flair?
Prawns. Prawn vol au vents. You call them shrimps. We call them prawns. But shrimp vol au vents. Oh,
proper?
Gorgeous appetizers.
For me, it's proper cheese sticks. If the restaurant has rolls on demand, how many are you likely to eat before your actual order comes in? None. I don't like rolls.
Depends how hungry I am. I mean, if I know that I'm going to eat the special, I could eat 3 rolls beforehand. If I'm not particularly that hungry, I'll probably just have the one.
All right. Darth Rada asks, if you and Nev could have one gear piece and how much for each tier of Galactic Challenges, which one would you choose and why? I would say 5 stun guns for each tier that you finish.
Yeah,
5 stun guns.
Stun guns. Everybody needs stun guns.
4 strong.
Say stun guns.
4 strong says, I know we always go back to music, but screw, why muck with tradition? Who's your favorite guitarist besides 4 strong?
Mark Knopfler.
I would have to say Brian May. I love Brian May's solos. All right. I'm going to skip ahead to JJ Manners, who redeemed his points for this, even though he's a Patreon. What band or artist is your secret shame?
Kylie.
I thought you were going to say Steel Panther.
No, Kylie Minogue.
All right.
The Queen of Pop. I don't care. It's not Madonna. Kylie Minogue.
For me, Hot Action Cop. But if we're going for true shame, I can listen to some Nickelback without wanting to commit suicide. All right. So Run DMV asks, cheese curds or poutine?
Poutine.
Poutine. Geek Girl says, what is something that everyone looks stupid doing?
Sneezing. Come on. What the human body does when you sneeze makes you look ridiculous. It just does. It looks stupid.
Andy immediately thinks less of you, Paul, for shame liking Nickelback. For me, it's people not wearing a mask when they're wearing a mask. The mask goes on the nose. It does nothing if it's below the nose. Except maybe catch your spittle. I don't know. All right. That being said, DPK, are you absolutely sure you want me to tell people this? I don't mind doing it at all. And we are going to be rating Deadpool Kyle here in just a moment, because we are continuing on the chain gang that was sent to us from our friend
Jackson Tucker.
From our friend Jackson Tucker. All right. He says do it. All right.
Do it.
Deadpool Kyle has given me the permission and the honor to make this announcement. I'd have to I don't know what Cascade just said in the chat, but I gotta focus on Deadpool Kyle here for a second. He has a big announcement to make. He's doing a little challenge, just like you guys helped us. We want to help him. He's trying to do a challenge to push the Wednesday Crew channel and his Twitch channel up in viewers. If the Wednesday Crew YouTube channel, go back for the link, go back on YouTube to the Deadpool Kyle interview. It's there in the show notes. If it gets to 100 followers, Deadpool Kyle will take his Sabine to Relic 7. If we get Deadpool Kyle's channel to 100 followers on Twitch, he will take the rest of the Phoenix to Relic 5. And everyone's favorite pointy object, Dagger, will do something if the Wednesday Crew gets to 100. So Dagger is doubling down on the YouTube stuff, but if we can get Deadpool Kyle to 100, do that as soon as we rate him. I want to see everybody take him up to 100. It would mean the world to me because Deadpool Kyle, he was the first person to ever know about the Escape Podcast. I sent him a message and I said, "What do you think of this intro?" And he's like, "I'd listen." And now he is.
Yeah, DPK is good people.
Yeah, DPK is very, very good people. So, he wants to get those numbers up. He checks the numbers too often, but he will announce them when he reaches them. The challenge is only till the end of this month, so we have 15 days to get him there. So, I love Phoenix, and as Hellenic says, let's do this for the Padawans. Let's absolutely do this for the Padawans. All right, so currently on Twitch, he has 82 followers.
We should be able to blast 100 out of the water in the next 5 minutes.
I would hope so. I really would hope so. All right. Neil, that does put us right up against the end. 2-hour show, as we promised.
Oh, yeah.
So, for those who are watching live on Twitch, we will be raiding into Deadpool Kyle. For those of you who are Patreons and subs not going to watch Deadpool Kyle, if you are a follower, if you are a Patreon or sub, and you show up in the after show and you say, no, you did not follow Deadpool Kyle, we're having
Nev rage.
You will get a Nev rage.
You will get a Nev rage.
And it will not be a good Nev rage.
No, it will be an after dark Nev rage.
All right. So, let's go ahead. Let's get in the van. For all those who helped us get us to where we are now, you guys are amazing. Thank you from the bottom of both Nev and I's hearts. The next hurdle is going to be getting enough people watching to be able to become partner to support the Castaways even more. All this is just to support the Castaways. I don't care about the partner perks of YouTube, except to help the other people that make this whole thing possible. I love you. Please take care of yourself. Please don't put yourself in danger. You may see me a lot more the next 2 weekends because I'm now quarantined at home. Thanks, Contact. All right. That being said, wear your damn mask. Be nice to each other, damn it. And we'll see you guys next week for more Escape Pod Cast. Neil, push the button.
Got it, mate. It's half an hour, folks.
What's going on? Where the hell are we? Paris?
Thank you for pressing
pressing the self-destruct button.
Attention! This is Colonel Sanders in forward command. Abandon ship! Abandon ship! All personnel proceed to escape pods. Close down the circuits. Evacuate the city. Self-destruct mechanism has been activated. Abandon ship! Where is it? Where is it? It's gonna be here. Out of order! Even in the future, nothing works.
This ship will self-destruct in exactly 10 seconds. Counting down. 10, 9, 8, 6.
6! What happened to 7?
Just kidding. 3, 2, 1. Have a nice day.
Thank you.
Hello, friends. This is Thaddeus from Going Nerdy. The Escape Podcast was filmed in front of a live studio audience full of tweaked out murder bears.
Sit, Boo Boo, sit. Good dog.